This is Chelsea Willis here with Rebel Saga at Comicpalooza 2016. If you have a favorite anime, he's probably in it. It's Chuck Huber. How are you today, Chuck?
I'm doing great. You look awesome.
Thank you. And how are you liking Houston so far?
Comicpalooza is probably, this is my third year in a row being here. It is probably one of my favorite conventions I do every year. It is huge, it is massive, and it has everything you could possibly want.
Can you tell us how you became a voice actor?
Yeah, sure. I was in a rehearsal for, we were doing an improv group, and one of my fellow actors came in and he was like, hey, you should audition for this Dragon Balls thing. And I was like, Dragon Balls? That sounds like porn. And he was like, no, it's anime. And I'm like, okay, it's definitely porn. And he was like, no, you should call this guy Chris Sabat and audition for him. And so I auditioned and I got the role of Garlic Jr. And that was the first time, I'm going to push you into the dead zone. So that was the first one I ever did. And I was dumbfounded that I got to do all these crazy voices. So it was a lot of fun.
What has been your favorite one so far?
By far, not by far, but the one I sort of refer to all the time is Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho. Although Dr. Stein in Soul Eater is pretty awesome. But Hiei is the first time I ever went to a convention. So it's the first time I ever got to meet fans, and I didn't even know I had fans. I honestly thought that Funimation was confused because they had signed me up for an autograph session, and I was like, nobody's gonna come, you're really stupid. And they were like, no, you don't understand. And then I ended up signing autographs for 4 hours straight. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have a really cool job.
So what's the craziest fan experience that you've had so far?
Oh, I don't know, nothing really bad. Like one time this girl at the end of a panel was like, hey, at the end of this panel, would you touch my glass eye? And Vic Mignogna and I were on the panel together and we were like, hell yeah, we'll touch your glass eye. And she came up and we were like, dink, 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 oh my God, dink, 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 ah!
Made out of glass.
Yeah, I know. Poking this 16-year-old girl in her face. So that was kind of weird.
It must have been a little bit awkward. Do you have advice for anybody that wants to get into voice acting?
Yeah, absolutely. Fail quickly. Anything you want to do in life, go fail at it as quickly as you can. And pick yourself up and drive towards that next failure. It's just like muscles. When you're building muscles, they don't grow until they fail. So anything you want to do in life, you got to push towards failure, get up and move towards it again. So, and voice acting specifically, move to DFW or LA and just be an actor and make it known to everybody and your agent and all that stuff that, you know, people at workshops or, you know, Chris Rager and Sonny Strait are both voice actors and they both teach expert level voice acting workshops in the DFW area. You could take one of those. I know Chris Rager's is starting up this July and it's at Okratron 5000. So like you could sign up for that.
Have you had any professional lessons or would you recommend any specific institutions that people might want to try out?
Well, I went to DePaul University, their acting conservatory, the Goodman School of Drama. Very expensive, very world-renowned school. Micah Rooker, who's over there, he went to the same school with the same teachers. I mean, like you can go, if you're going to be an actor, a conservatory is definitely an awesome way to go. Otherwise, I'm a big fan of workshops because they're a lot less expensive than a college degree. And you don't need it. We used to joke in like voice and speech class. We'd be like, yeah, you're going to go into that audition and Francis Ford Coppola is going to be like, you're perfect for the part, but you got to be in voice and speech, so we can't use you. That's not going to happen.
You actually just had your directorial debut. It's called Arbor Day the Musical. It's a musical about people making a musical about 9/11 to deconstruct myths and promote healing. How did you come about this idea?
First of all, thank you for that very succinct and perfect explanation of the movie. I will be stealing that and using it from here on out, so I appreciate that. Yeah, the movie came about because anytime you brought up the subject of 9/11, it was taboo, and like we were all like trained to feel a certain way. And when I decided to make the movie, I had a friend whose dad was killed on September 11th, happened to be the highest-ranking military officer killed at the Pentagon. So I decided I would pitch the movie to her in D.C., and she made me meet her at her dad's grave. And then we went to the Pentagon, and then we went to an Irish pub, and then I pitched her my movie. And she didn't agree with everything that the movie would say, but what she definitely agreed with was like tearing down the myth of it so that it wasn't a useful football for politicians and you know, a rallying cry. To her, it was just the day her dad died. So it was the importance of the movie for her was it takes that event and gives it back to us, so we're not manipulated or controlled by it. And that's the purpose of the movie, because there are all sorts of events that happen in the news media, like the most recent one, the Orlando shooting. Everybody tries to jump on it one way or the other, you know, like to you know, promote guns or get rid of guns or, you know, whatever everybody's agendas are. You can feel all these agendas on it. And if you just scratch the surface even a little bit past the first story of the event, there's a whole world of manipulation going on.
And behind the manipulation, there's real people with real problems.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's the day that some people, it's the worst day of their lives,
Right.
and it's being used to make something
Yeah.
political.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon Prime and Amazon. Is there any other way that people could look at this?
You can come by my house and I'll show it to you. No, it's on Amazon, Amazon Prime. It's going to be on some other platforms too, but Global Genesis Group, the distribution company, they are donating a portion of all downloads and streams to my friend who I met with in DC. Her charity supports the Visitors Education Center at the Pentagon Memorial, which is being built currently, so a portion of all downloads goes to that.
So download the movie, support a great cause. Is there anything, any other projects that you have coming up that you would like to tell your fans about?
I've been asked to do a movie called The Harrowing, which is directed by John Keyes, produced by Matthew Tompkins. So we start shooting on that in July. And what I'm gearing up for now, other than promotions on, because when you're a filmmaker and you finish a movie, it's not done. You got about another year of promoting it after that. So I'll be promoting Arbor Day for the next year. And while I'm doing that, I'll be setting up the next movie I'm going to work on. And it'll be similar to Arbor Day. Arbor Day shot in a documentary style, sort of mockumentary style. If you're familiar with Waiting for Guffman or This is Spinal Tap, that's sort of in the same vein as that. So I'll be gearing up for my next movie, which will be similar to that documentary style, but it's going to take place in the comic convention world. So it should be kind of interesting.
That'll be very, very cool to watch. Do you think that there is going to be another Kickstarter for this one?
Yeah, I don't know. My Kickstarter supporters are amazing, and you just reminded me I have to send them all an email about it being on Amazon, because I was supposed to do that on Friday, but the convention started and I forgot. So if any Kickstarter supporters are watching this, you're going to get an email from me, and I'm totally sorry I forgot. But your name is at the end of the credits.
Sorry, but we have it covered for you. First, he's going to send you an email. It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
Check out Arbor Day. The proceeds go to a great cause, and it is all about healing. This has been Chelsea Willis with Chuck Huber at Comicpalooza. Everybody keep it epically real.
Epically real.